Journal Entry 1. The day we departed from Galway, Ireland was very exciting. Mama and Auntie Eileen were very nervous because they didn't know what to do. They were the ones who still had to feed me and my younger brother. My younger brother tried to carry so much stuff, but I had to help him understand we could only carry so much before the whole trip before we got tired. The day we left, my little brother and I were sitting in the area where we stayed and heard Mama and Auntie Eileen fighting. I knew there were going to be some issues with this trip. Philip, my little brother, and I were loving on our family pet. His name was Nimrod, and we named him that because he ran into a lot of things. We have to move because of a famine. Dad went off to help a friend, but didn't come back alive. Today is the day we have to leave and start our walk. Mama made me carry one of the big bags, and Philip got the smallest bag. We only had 2 bags. I was choking on tears as Mama said we had to get rid of Nimrod. I sobbed and sobbed. Before we left, Mama said we could at least give him to my friend. She always wanted a pet, and last week was her birthday. So this just might be a good birthday present she will always take care of. When Philip didn't mind much because he was only 7. I didn't want to spoil bad news to him. I just told him that Nimrod had to go on a vacation. He didn't say anything besides, well, I hope he has lots of fun at a doggy lake and we will see her soon. As we were walking, the bag seemed to get heavier. Auntie Eileen had to give Philip a piggyback ride. I just had to walk the whole way. The journey over on the ship wasn't my favorite, but we at least got a ride. If it was possible to swim there, I would have because of how crowded the ship was. I met this girl named Ingrid Schaefer. She was 9 years old. She started talking to Philip, or the other way around. I don't know, but we started to talk to each other. We became best of friends. She told me she was going to see her father. Can you believe it? She was from Germany. I'm only from Ireland. We were both going to the same place in America. What a coincidence. We were going to talk every day. The ship ride was still fun, but many times I felt seasick. Ingrid was there to make me feel better. Philip started to talk to people, but there really wasn't anyone his age there. He tried some person who looked like 30 or somewhere around there. He didn't really care for him. We were both heading to New York, and I had heard of this other place called York. Maybe they were related in some way. Maybe not. Who cares? I made a new friend. My mom and Eileen started to talk about how horrible the trip was. I told them at least there was food here. She just said, "Shush, child, I can speak for myself." Ingrid came up with a great way to pass the time. She called it twiddling her thumbs. You lock your hands and spin your thumbs round and round without touching them together. It was hard, I will admit. The trip took 2 whole weeks. At least I met her the first day. I was told never to talk to anyone random on the ship. That is why Philip got into so much trouble. He wanted to know where everyone on the ship was from. We saw one person who was from Poland. On the trip, she told me something so sad. Her mother had figured out Ingrid's father had died while walking home on some sort of trip. I told her how my father died helping one of his friends. Also that I was traveling with my Aunt Eileen and Mama. Mama had told me that we would be there soon. The day we arrived, I saw so many other people who looked like they had a rough ride. She said, "Ahoy, Peggy," as her face lit bright red, maybe even brighter than the sun. We had to go to an exam to make sure that we weren't sick at all. Philip had just gotten over a cold. Hopefully they didn't notice and think he was still contagious. They had let us come over and didn't want us to bring sickness to Americans and bring some sort of horrible disease to their country. Then Eileen and Mama brought some extra food they had snuck in Philip's pocket. Girls and boys is how they did it. They separated us. We were so scared we wouldn't see Philip again. So maybe I tried to be a little weird and made him wear one of my dresses. Mama said that would only make it worse for us if they figured out. They told us that they would take good care of Philip, so we just had to believe that was true. They put some sort of hook in my eye to make sure I didn't have, I think it was conjunctivitis. It did hurt, but they said if I struggled, it would only take longer. When we finally got out of there, I thought, no way, I see Ingrid. Wait, is this just some sort of hallucination? They did just put a hook in my eye. I went up to her, and she told me that her mother was pregnant with a little baby boy. I congratulated her for probably 5 minutes.
The first thing we did at Ellis Island was lots of fun. We went and saw the Statue of Liberty. It was outstandingly beautiful to look at. When I saw the Statue of Liberty, I knew we were somewhere safe and somewhere that was something better than the first place we called home. I also saw quite a few other people. Though most thing that they thumbs.
were sad
From
leaving
that
their
day on,
country.
I knew we were
Others
going to be
were
the
screaming
best
with tears of
friends.
joy. I was choking back tears knowing that so many people were happy to leave their country. Maybe there might have been some sort of war that I wasn't aware of. All I knew is there was lots of food here. When I say lots, I mean there's enough to probably last about everyone on Earth a year. The grass is so green, the sky is so blue, clouds forming shapes that makes absolutely no sense to anyone. Yep, I was excited. Ingrid started to play around in the grass with Philip. Philip started to cry. Then I remembered that he might be crying because of us having to leave Nimrod. I knew that when he shouted, "I miss Nimrod! Why couldn't he come on the vacation with us? Or why couldn't we go with him? I miss Nimrod! Why couldn't he come?" He screamed and tossed and turned. I ran to his side to help the poor little guy. They had a huge glass window at the ceiling, and I don't know how anyone could miss it. Finally, we started to head to New York to stay at the tenements. Well, not excited to stay in a tenement, but to move to New York. Ingrid was doing the usual, trying to entertain Philip, as I set aside helping Aunt Eileen. Something scary happened that changed my life. As we started to walk around, 2 Americans started running towards us, and we didn't know what to do. We thought they would pass us. The next moment, they grabbed Philip. "Hey, what are you doing with my brother?" I screamed. Right then, they told me for the exam they weren't done with him, and he ran out. "They think he has a heart condition." I grabbed him, and I pulled him towards me. I knew he did not have a heart condition. "They think he has a heart condition. How?" "This is my brother, and I won't let go of him. He has no such thing as a heart condition," I said, sobbing. We really knew he did have troubles at times, saying he felt lots of pain in his chest. That's where I lost as they started to take him away. I chased the guards through the crowd of people and lost sight of them. All I heard was Philip scream, "Peggy!" I screamed, "Philip!" back and didn't hear anything else but the crowd's voices. I fell to my knees looking at the ground. I knew that was the last time I would see him ever. Auntie Eileen said, "That was pointless to waste my back strength to give him a piggyback ride." Right then and there, I wanted to slap her across the face. "We just lost a child, and you're talking about a piggyback ride?" I ran the direction I last saw him running, hoping soon to find him in the dark and now silent crowd. After that, the whole way I walked, I held my head towards the ground with my body drooping. I couldn't believe what just happened. Why couldn't it be someone else? Why must it be Philip? Mom was sighing the whole way we were heading to the tenement where we were going to move. This was very hard to say. This wasn't exciting at all without Philip yelling and arguing with me. I again dropped and started crying. Mama said to me while wiping her tears, "I know this is tough, but we won't ever see him again, and this is just wasting our time." I didn't agree with that at all. That is when I just kept on walking. Mama and Auntie Eileen seemed they were fighting with me. I think they were trying to tell me a white lie, except she was just doing it without any warning. This is when I could no longer give them my trust. I knew I would find Philip. I wouldn't give up until I found him. He was the only thing that could keep me smiling all day, all week, all month, all year. The doctor examined us one more time, and I couldn't believe it. I saw Philip. He was in a line with many other people. Something was with these people. They were different. They had cards taped on their shoulders. He had a card with an H on it and the number 14. Then I knew something was wrong. I knew that H stood for heart, probably heart condition. I went to run to him, but someone pulled on my shoulder and I heard screams in my ear. The doctor yelled at me and said we weren't allowed to go there. Those were people with conditions or illnesses, he mumbled and grumbled. So while they were checking Eileen, I ran and called Philip's name, hoping he would hear. He whipped his head around and screamed with joy, "Peggy!" That's when I ran faster than my legs could carry me. I fell to the ground and I was knocked unconscious. Right before my eyes, all I could see was shapes and colors. My world started to go black. I didn't know what to do. I heard Philip scream, "We need a doctor really fast. She might have hit her head she might have died when she hit her head on those stairs." That's when my world again went dark, darker than ever. I later woke up on a bed like on the boat. Could this be? I was saying I was sent back to the ship. Oh no. Then I woke up and realized it was really just a dream when I really woke up. I felt hot and it was humid. Are these beds made of rock? Wait, I was in the tenement. So it really was true they stunk and looked funny and weren't comfy. Mama never lies. After seeing the doctor, I never want to see them again. I just want to go home and not deal with this whole new place that took my brother. Now I can hardly see anything. I have a headache. Could this place get any worse? I really just want to go home. I would think that all the other poor kids I saw there were having a good day. Well, at least I hope they didn't have to go through what I had to go through, because believe me, that was not fun. The whole trip I looked out the window. I realized everyone was miserable. Out of nowhere, I saw a girl. Something was different about this girl. She was smiling and singing something like, Tommy boy, full of mischief. That's what was funny to me. She was singing about some little boy named Tommy. Maybe she lost a friend named Tommy. Maybe a brother like me and she needed comfort. Then why would she be singing happily? Oh, I know, she must be meeting someone named Tommy. I was going to go talk to her, but my body was drooping down so far. I felt awful. Ah! I remembered that I had to go to the sweatshop to work, so we had some money to buy food. I had to go now if I didn't want to be late. My leg hurt and Mama told me not to walk. And she said just hang in the tenement. How could I do that when she had to feed me? Then I would feel bad for breaking her rules. What should I do? This might get me in trouble. She might be proud I still came to help her. Now I will have to just decide. Yes, I will go. Wait, she never said where it was. Dang, she was one step ahead of me. She was smart enough not to tell me where she was. I still went outside and asked some poor little old lady who looked sick also. Do you know where any sweatshop might be located? She just looked at me and smiled. Then she said very wise words like, safe travels come to you if you shall give what you have to the poor. Then you shall find your destination. Weird, but we didn't have any bread. We hardly had enough food to spare ourselves. How would I afford to feed people other than my family? I noticed that everyone I had seen was dressed in rags, gross torn up rags. How awful. Ingrid was walking on the streets, and I knew if she saw me, she would say that I needed to immediately head to my bed and sleep, or at least get some rest. I feel bad, but I hid from her so she wouldn't see me. I know that's not how you treat your friends, but I had to do it to help my mother. Just then I ran like it was the end of my life towards a place called Phil's Sweatshop, and I knew that was where she was. I ran and I saw her sewing. Just then I heard a loud thumping. Ouch! She had cut her finger. I told her to let me see her finger. I wanted to gag, but I had to help my mother. Her finger was bleeding, and it was bleeding very bad. I went to get some towels, wrapped it around her finger. I helped and started working. We smiled at each other and began work, leaving behind the past.